Oh my god, there's poop in that bed. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. So today we'll be testing Pretty Litter. This is a crystal litter with like health monitoring. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit skeptical, okay? Like a couple months ago, I started seeing like a lot of mixed feelings about this litter. Like some people are like, oh my gosh, it's great. My cats really like it. It's soft on their paws. Really like the health monitoring. And then some people are like, don't buy it. It's a waste of money. The health indicator is like a hit or miss. I'm here to test it and get the whole truth out. I purchased this at Target for $32, but I think that included tax. It's a little bit pricey given how small this bag is. This is an 8-pound bag for $32. Like that's a little steep. So essentially this litter does like health monitoring. Pretty Litter changes color when it detects certain abnormalities in your cat's urine. If you see orange, it's acidic, and that can mean metabolic acidosis or kidney tubular acidosis. Calcium oxalate crystals, if it's pink, red, it means there is presence of blood, which may indicate feline lower urinary tract disorder. Bladder stones crystals, kidney stones, bladder inflammation, certain types of kidney disease, and clotting disorders. In rarer cases, it can also mean bladder cancer or internal injury. When you see like a blue or dark green, that means alkalinity outside the average range may be present. This is usually linked to urinary tract infections. If you're not familiar with crystal litter, it's essentially like little beads or like little litter pieces that are made out of silica. This is like a non-clumping litter, and the litter pieces itself will hold on to the urine. Solids itself just kind of gets dehydrated and you scoop those out. So there is no urine clumps to scoop. You just kind of mix the crystal around and then change it like weekly. So we'll test this out. I'm actually gonna try a little scientific experiment on this and see if the litter actually changes color. I don't know like the science behind how they made it. Like, does it have to be basic urine or can it just be like a basic solution? We'll see. So we'll give this a test. Hopefully it lasts 2 weeks. Who knows? So we'll be back after we finish this bag and discuss the dust tracking, odor control, and there's no clumping to talk about, and the value of this litter. So we are back from testing the Pretty Litter, and I have gone through the entire bag within a week, not even. So just as a point of reference, while I was testing this litter, I had total 8 cats in my house. 3 of them are my resident cats. They mainly use the Pretty Litter. I would say 10 to 15% of the time they were using the pine litter. So the other 5 are my fosters. It's 4 kittens. They're like 3 months old, and 1 is an adult female. The reason why I'm going into this and giving you like the kitten's age and stuff is because I want to convey the point that they are small, and so their bladder is small, and so the amount of urine is not as much as an adult cat. So my fosters, they are allowed to free roam the house during the day, but at night they are confined to their room, and they do use their own litter box there. So I would say 50% of the time they use the Pretty Litter. So with my review, I'm not going to say that this was based off of 8 cats. I'm going to use 5 adult cats as like my reference point. As a reminder, we're going to cover a few categories: dust, tracking, clumping. Well, in this case, it would be absorbance / clumping, hint, hint, odor control, and value. So let's just dive right into our categories. The first one being dust. So this litter, very impressive with the dust. It's essentially dust-free. I've never experienced a litter more dust-free than this. After my initial pour, I did a swipe test on the side, and literally nothing. At most, it was like some like coarse crummies, which I don't count as dust because they're pretty large. Our second category is tracking, and I tested it with and without a litter mat, and oh my god. So without a litter mat, it was absolutely horrendous. After like not even 24 hours. I want to say it was like 18 hours. It tracked from the litter box all through the litter area and like into my living room, which is like 20 feet away, I feel like. It did not go on top of my kitchen counters, thank goodness. However, it did track up my stairs to the second floor. So the litter did track relatively far, but it's not the worst that I've ever seen. So as I mentioned, I also tested it with a litter mat, and it's relatively the same with or without a litter mat. It's like slightly better with a litter mat after like a day. It's on my staircase. After 2 days, it's pretty bad. Next category is absorption / clumping. So the absorption power of this crystal is like fairly low. With the other crystals that I've experienced, this one was relatively moist, which leads me to the clumping part of this category. So this crystal litter should not clump. It should only absorb and hold onto the urine. It should not be clumping together. However, this litter kind of clumps. It almost forms like a slushy-like consistency. So that's absorption and clumping with the urine. Now with the solids, it definitely does draw out the moisture. I could tell when I was scooping the litter, the solids were relatively like, I don't want to say hard, but it was like relatively dry. And it coated the solids pretty nicely. Now moving on to odor control. Oh, it was kind of gross. On the bag, it says enjoy 30 days of freshness. And I'm assuming this is for one cat. Okay, so I poured some clean litter just so you could kind of compare how yellow it got after 1 day of use. So I used this whole bag within 5 days. I did it in 2 sessions. Each session lasted like 2 to 3 days. The first time, I really should have changed it out after 2 days, but I really wanted to push the limit to see how bad it would get if I didn't. So I did it to 3 days. So let's just say with 5 cats, after 3 days, it was so disgusting. Like, I'm speechless, okay? And so if you like do some calculations, like for 5 cats for 3 days, you convert that to 1 cat, that's like not even 30 days of freshness. Odor control for solids, it was great. I didn't really smell much unless Sven had his forbidden chocolate soup. But with the urine, it was just so atrocious. Like, I could smell it. There's like a hint of cat piss in the air in my house. Changed out the litter, the entire litter, only like 2 days ago. So our last category is value. For me, I think it's a little bit pricey for what it is. If it worked better, then yes, I would be all for it. However, this one bag is $32, that's including tax. Based off my calculations, for the 5 days of use I got from it, based off the 5 cats that were using it, that means for 1 cat, it will last you about 20 days. I actually have footage capturing my litter boxes, so I took time to review a whole day's footage to see how many times they went to the bathroom, and so that's how I got all these calculations. Essentially, if you have 1 cat and they urinate 3 times a day and like drop a solid once a day, this litter will last you 20 days. I mean, I'll be generous and give it an extra 10 days. So if you have 1 cat, it will last you 30 days. Now, mind you, the bag advertises a 2-month supply. It says here, this bag is a 2-month supply. It's a little upsetting. So my last category is going to be miscellaneous, just to factor in any like cool features certain litters have. So this litter has a color indicator that tells you like a little bit about your cat's health. So while I was using this, all my cats were healthy, so the litter was just the normal yellow color. But I did an experiment and I tested the litter with vinegar, which is acidic. It's about pH 2.5, and I tested it with bleach, which is pH 11 to 13. Now it doesn't explicitly say that they are like testing for pH, but they do mention like acidity and alkalinity, which to me as like a biologist, I think they're testing for pH. So with my tests, if they were just looking for pH, which if you're looking at pH, you're looking at the amount of hydrogen atoms is in your solution. That's what I'm thinking the litter like reacts with that or something, and then it changes color. But it didn't for my experiment. So I'm thinking there's more to it. I don't know what. I did not deep dive any further. So all I can say is you can read the reviews. I'm sure people can attest to whether the indicators work or not. I did have a Instagram friend recently go through something where her cat had red litter, which indicates blood, and so she took him to the ER and they found crystals in his urine. So that's the only antidote that I have. Otherwise, I can't tell you if it works or not. I'm still a little skeptical myself. Maybe I'm missing something in my experiment. I feel like it's testing something else rather than the pH level. Because if it was just pH, it would have reacted with the bleach and the vinegar because they are like at the far ends of the spectrum. I even mixed it with water to test it out and nothing, you know? So I think it has to do with something with the color of the urine and just minerals or the composition of what's in the urine. I honestly cannot say. That's my 2 cents. I'm skeptical, but there are reviews and antidotes out there that says it works. You can decide whether you believe that. So here are my final thoughts. I personally would not use this again. It's not worth it based on how long it lasts and how much it costs. 2, I don't think it worked very well in controlling urine odor. And 3, tracking. It's just terrible. Not for me. I don't want to vacuum every day. All right. I hope you guys found this review helpful. I hope it helps you make the right decision on whether you want to try it or not. If you do, let me know in the comments. I'm sure your experience would help others out as well. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in our next video. Bye. Are you snoring? Oh, ooh, so cute. Oh, you're so squished in there.